Now presenting Channeling Erik's Hour of Enlightenment.
Oh my God, people. God, wow. I'm speechless. I cannot tell you how amazing the event was this past Saturday. I usually have my local, meetup. Just, people, they don't, no tickets or anything. Just they come over and we hobnob and eat, drink, and be merry. Like maybe every quarter or something like that. But at the end, we had a group reading with Michelle, who is our guest today, who flew all the way from London, Canada. Okay.
Yes.
Just kidding. And also Denise Ramon and Veronica coming all the way from Philly. So it was amazing. There's so much validating information that was given to the people in the room at my home. So you guys, we're going to do this again. You better not miss it, or Mama Bear's going to spank you. Because, a lot of people got so much out of it. Yeah, watch out for Mama Bear. And so anyway, the documentary filmmaker is still here with her assistant, and they're leaving Thursday. I'm so sad. Oh my God, I want to adopt. I said, can't y'all just immigrate here and live? We got an extra bedroom or two, but they have to go work on the footage. So, anywho, without a further ado, I want to introduce Michelle Gray at thehealing-art.com. See, I got it right this time, Michelle.
Yes, okay. You did.
I guess MichelleGray.com was taken, right? So.
Yeah, it was. It's actually very common. Believe that, hey?
Wow.
Yeah, it's common.
My God. Okay, so anyway, you are going to share your own journey of awakening, which I think is very amazing. Just like Veronica had an amazing awakening experience, you especially did, and the healing that you underwent. So. Well, you'll talk more about it, but you started from being an outcast as a child, and I know the feeling of that because I was like, odd man out. It's like, and you were diagnosed with an incurable disease as an adult. You suffered from opiate addiction, illnesses, which included stage 3 breast cancer. So facing, mortality must have been difficult, right? And you had a young family. And that, though, as is often the case, was the catalyst of your transformation of healing, not only your own heart, but helping others do the same. And, you are courageous because you could have very easily just succumbed and become a victim. But you said, no, I am going to use this shit, the crap in my life, to evolve, to transform not only myself and my family, but others too. So take it away, Michelle. Educate us.
It's amazing when I hear it read back to me. I'm like, wow, did that really happen? Like, did all that really happen? Even though sometimes it feels like it was a while ago, sometimes it also feels like it's just yesterday.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was very empathetic and sensitive when I was a kid, and I was bullied mostly by my peers. I had a couple teachers that had some real imprints on me that I can tell now, looking back, I could really see how that affected me. But I felt, when I was a kid, I felt energy. I did see energy, and it terrified me. Like I spent many nights on my parents' bedroom floor because I didn't want to be in my bedroom. And I guess I knew I had a connection. I didn't really understand what it was. I knew that I was connected to something bigger than me. I even remember being maybe about 5 years old and laying in my parents' backyard and looking up at the sky and thinking that there were bigger beings that were moving us like puzzle pieces or like figures. And then I remember looking down at the ants and thinking we were doing the same to them. Like I remember that thought so clearly. And
how old were you?
But about five or six.
Gosh.
Yeah. So it was. I felt something there, but it was something that, like in my family as well, we all kind of had spiritual experiences. My father had seen spirit and heard spirit and had stories over our life, but it never left our family. It just kind of stayed, and it was mostly myself and my other brother that would have more of the experiences together.
Is he a medium also?
He's not, but he's awakening, and he is. We've had a lot of changes happen in our family in the last little while, and he's really coming into his abilities now because he understands himself because of me, what I've experienced.
Wow.
But yeah, so facing my mortality, I was terrified of my health. I was a hypochondriac. I had everything. I was scared of everything.
Why
so
is that?
fear-based.
Why were you fear-based? Before you answer that, I want to, before I forget, because, Michelle, you know my brain. I'm forgetful and old. How were you bullied? What were you bullied about?
Well, it was, I didn't really understand exactly what. It was because anything that I would do, I was a little bit too weird, a little bit eccentric. Some of the clothes that I wore, I didn't always wear the name brand stuff.
Good for you.
I get little things like that. Well, my style was very different. I can remember wearing a pair of red cowboy boots with big heels in grade 3, and I was so darn proud of those cowboy boots, and I got teased all day, just things like that. But it was also I sang, I was very dramatic, and when I got bullied, I went right into my shell, and I was afraid to get to know people because it was almost like I would be drawn in, and then I'd get shut down really hard and made fun of, so I'd hide again, and I had difficulty making friends. I only had, I shouldn't say only, I did have one good friend through public school, but she experienced a lot of what I did as well.
Yeah, so miserable of company.
Yeah.
But my daughter Michelle experienced the same thing. She was such a free spirit, so happy. She would go up to people and say, "I love you," and I was like, I don't know what do you do. And I mean, and Arlene, my granddaughter, she would just wear the craziest stuff. Like she'd go to school with bear paws on or whatever, or a feather in on a headband. I mean, she's not being bullied so far, but it's so hard to be your own authentic self in this world, especially when you're young and you want to express, your soul wants to express yourself. And it's really freaking messed up that these people do this to our children when it's their baggage that is messing things up. And I just really hate that. Well, do you think, and your teachers, how were they? I mean, what did they do? The same kind of thing?
Well, it was I learned at a very young age, as empathetic as I was, even though I didn't have the language or the understanding, I learned very well how to read people, how to pick up on subtleties, because I wanted to please everybody to be accepted.
Of course.
I didn't understand that's what I was doing, but yes, I was trained that way. And so I knew, and my intuition was very sharp as a child. I knew when things were going on, and I could pick up on teachers that would kind of like, make comments about me. And I was told that I wasn't smart. I was told that I would never, ever go to college or university.
To your face?
Many times. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
That's what happened to Erik, his math teacher. Miss Lane at Springbridge Middle School, if you hear this, you asshole. You told my son that he wasn't smart. That Erik, you are stupid, he said to her. So, God. Thank God, though, that you had parents that were spiritual and hopefully supportive, were they?
Yeah, very, very. My parents, that was my safe place. I mean, I have 3 brothers, and I was teased and I was toughened, and I went through a lot of those experiences at home, and I was the emotional one in the family. I always was a little felt misunderstood in some ways, but I also have a middle brother that was kind of similar to me. We had some similarities there. So as we got older, we bound together a bit, but the two of us are so different than our other brothers because the other ones are, very linear focused and very business focused. And my father was a businessman, and I was I sold used cars for most of my adult life. So I really got to know and understand how to read people, but it was really the fear of being sick or the fear of something happening was like my fear of death. I didn't want to know. I was terrified that someone in my family was going to die, and I was terrified that I was going to die. Mostly it was my parents. Like I can remember making deals with God on the way home saying, if you could just make my parents last until I was an adult.
Well, yeah,
and I had,
it's very common for that fear of your parents' mortality to start around 8 years old. I don't know, when did it happen with you?
Yeah,
about that time, or maybe a little earlier. So wait,
maybe a little bit earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're an empath, so I can understand. So, do you think, and you can answer this later, whatever, but do you think the teachers and the bullies, etc., was that some sort of spiritual contract to put you on the path you're on now?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
And what I understand now, and a lot of, with the help, Erik has given me a lot of guidance through what I've experienced through my life and why it's so important and what it's provided for me now and continues to provide. But absolutely, all of those, I was trying so hard to please and not being myself.
Yeah.
And it was a path for me to love myself and heal my own heart. And that's why I call what I do the healing heart, because I'm an artist, and this has been a journey for my own heart. And the journey continues, but now I have the ability to use that power and that experience with spirit to help heal others. So
your
I'm
story
grateful for it now.
Yeah, your story is so freaking important because it mirrors so many people's story. I mean, maybe to a lesser degree or whatever, but we all are just like suffering from, the external telling us we're not enough. Okay?
Yeah.
And we need you to be like this. So it impedes us for being who we really are. I mean, fucking let people be who they are. That is so important. And
very
also,
important.
Yes, and also the fact that you not being allowed to be your authentic self, I guess I could be wrong, led to the your cancer diagnosis. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, if you're not, if you don't have the roommates that Erik talks about aligned, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, there's diseases that can happen. So can you speak to that?
Oh yes, I can. That's absolutely right. And all of the stuffing down who I really was, knowing that I was something different, knowing that I was more than what I was being. I lacked in self-confidence. I didn't trust myself. I did what other people told me to do because I didn't want to face the consequences of them not accepting me. So I did a lot of bending myself and not listening to what I needed or not paying attention. So I was out of whack in many ways, which is what exactly led me to disease, because I had all of these emotions that had no way of coming out. I wasn't addressing them because I didn't understand. I didn't even know that what was happening. I just thought I thought that there was something very mentally wrong with me for most of my life.
Oh my God.
Of why I was so emotional and why I was so, because honestly, past a little bit of my intuitiveness, which I knew was there, I didn't really know it was real. I didn't really believe it. And it wasn't until my grandmother passed that I was able to start to feel there was something, and this was in my late teens, because I started to dream about her, and I was dreaming about things that I couldn't have known. And I would go to my mother and tell her, this is what I saw. And she's like, how could you know that? How could you? So there was those things there, but I wasn't getting the hints. I wasn't following my path, but yet my path was to go through these experiences with my health so that I could work through the adversity. And I mean, I really hit many different areas with, being hit with a hereditary disease and told that I wasn't going to talk or walk at one point in my life.
Oh, yeah, spinal cerebellar ataxia, yeah.
Yeah. And having grown up with my family and my father being disabled and selling used cars, he had difficulty speaking, especially when he got tired toward the end of the day. So people would think he was a drunk, that he was drinking, selling used cars.
God.
And so there was a lot of assumptions from the outside world that I was very protective of my family, very protective of myself. And that led to a lot of inner pain, and that inner pain eventually turned into the pain in my body, and that's what got me into being prescribed first Percocet
Oxycontin.
and then Oxycontin.
Yeah.
I was on 10 20 milligram pills and 10 80s a day.
That's
Prescribed.
terrible. How could a doctor do that? Really?
Well,
That's
yeah,
awful.
yeah. And so it was that was
But
that was
they were probably they were. I'm sorry. They were probably part of your spiritual contract as well. So.
Yes. Well, and that doctor is passed now, and I've been able to have some communication. So yes,
hey,
it
gotta
is.
come to Jesus meeting, dude. Yeah, really.
Yeah. So, and then breast cancer is directly connected to my emotions and to my loving myself, accepting and really loving myself, which is something I pushed away my entire life. So coming to that, I really had to face my mortality. I had to face absolutely everything that I held dear on the outside of me.
Yeah.
I had to look at it and be okay with letting that go, and being confined to a bed for a very long time sick really gave me the opportunity to explore myself, to understand, why am I here? What is this all about? And I've said this before, my little girl, my middle daughter, who was 7 at the time, she came up to me shortly after my diagnosis, and it really devastated her. And she said, "Mom, are you going to die? Like, are you going to die?" And the look on her face, and I said, "Absolutely not. No way." I said, "This is just something we're going to go through, and we're going to be better for it, and that's that." And as I said that, I was like, really? Of course. And at that moment, I didn't look at the internet again. I stopped looking up my diagnosis. I stopped thinking about what ifs, and I started thinking about, I'm going to put every positive piece of everything into every step I take through this entire process, because what do I have left? Negativity? Like, that hasn't worked for me. And this is something that just kind of occurred, and I thought, I'm just going to do this. This is my attack. I'm going to be positive. So I had to work through, and I mean, positivity doesn't just come easy through shit, as everybody knows. You have to work through it. You have to keep going back to feeling better. You have to keep having faith and trust. And when I had gone through the treatment, I had my tumor shrunk down from 7 by 7 to 2 centimeters. And then I had surgery and had radiation. And after that, I was different. I felt like a different person. I really did. And I knew life had changed. And that whole time I had gone through treatment, because I had the will to want to live, and because I had promised myself that I was going to stay positive for my kids, it ended up being the best thing in the world for me. And that's where my journey really began. And that's where Erik started to pop in the picture.
Good. I do want to talk about that, but I just want to tell everybody out there that, if you are suffering from some sort of disease or condition, I really think it's important for you to look at why and what value is there. What is your soul, your higher self trying to tell you? It's always, there's always something that they're trying to nudge you more toward your path. So I do want to talk about how you got involved with Erik, and also I want to talk about your children and your husband and things like that.
So this would be, let's see, I think this was 2014 Christmas. I had received, 2015, Christmas. I had received Erik's books for Christmas.
What,
and
from who?
I was, from my husband. He ordered it for me for Christmas.
Why?
Because I had seen a blog, I should back up for a second. I had a couple family members pass away very suddenly and very tragically. And it brought up a lot of questions again, as I'm already in this new state of being. And I started to punch in life after death. And what came up was Heather Quinto's blog. And I read this part of the blog, and it said, "My spirit guide, Erik." I was like, what the heck is that? What's a spirit guide? I'm like,
hey,
I didn't know what a spirit guide was.
I love you, Heather.
Yes, she's awesome.
Yeah.
So then I went in the computer and I put in Erik, spirit guide Erik. And up came this world. And I was like, what is this? So then I started watching some YouTube, and everything started to fit. Everything. I felt like I was found home. I can't explain it any other way. And that's when I said to my husband, if you want to get me something for Christmas this year, and this was November. So I said, if you want to get me something for Christmas this year, I would really love this book. And I sent him the link. And so I got that book for Christmas. Well, Christmas Day, I remember sitting on
It's an amazing book. I mean, I'm not, like I say, I'm not bragging. I didn't, I just transcribed it. Okay. But it is an amazing.
I couldn't put it down. I opened it Christmas morning.
Books. Yeah. Yes.
And I'm not a book reader.
Oh,
I've never been a book reader. Yeah, and that one I couldn't get enough. I was falling asleep with it on my face. Christmas Day, I was sitting there
when they got to the end of it. They were so upset that it was gone.
Yes. I was sitting there with the book, and my phone was over to the side of me, and all of a sudden I kind of look at my phone as I'm reading, and there's a cursor moving on my phone, not the blinking a cursor. I'm like, I've never even seen a cursor on my phone before, and it was moving around the phone, and I'm like, that's Erik. That's got to be Erik. Yeah. It has to be.
Sounds like
and so I said, all right, Erik. I'm like, I'm going to make a bet with you. If this is real and I am who I think I am and I'm meant to do what I feel is going on here, then bring me a choir of angels. I'm like, it's Christmas, bring me a choir of angels. And that night, this is the craziest story. It's 100% true. My parents live in the house next door. And on Christmas Day Eve, I was bringing boxes of stuff over from the kids and that. I'm by myself. I'm outside on our front lawn just going across the driveway. And all these cars we live on a court, and all these cars started whipping around the court. And I kind of noticed it. And they stop in front of our house, and they all get out, and they've all got these books, and somebody's got a guitar, and they start singing Hark the Herald Angels Sing to me.
Oh, my
Yes.
God.
And it was actually our neighbors. They were part of a church, and because they knew I had been sick with cancer, they had me on their caroling list. But
still,
when they stood there in their yes, and I knew that was it. And I mean, there were more experiences that happened as time progressed to show me that Erik was there, and then it just started to get more and more intimate. The more I would believe and put my faith into what I knew was happening, the stronger Erik became. And he never left.
Yeah, he can stick around like a little pester. But, it's amazing what he has done. For example, one of the blog members, Eminem, Martha McGatlin, been a long time blog member. She went to one of the events here recently, and she decided on the way to the airport to take pictures of Erik's, grave marker.
Mm-hmm.
So she went to the airport, looked at her files, and noticed that Erik had put those pictures in her favorites folder, which is, okay, well, she never put anything in her favorites. So Martha says, oh, come on, all right, that's kind of soft. So I want you to do something real. I want you to move me to first class. So she's in line, boarding group 2. She's looking at her mobile, boarding pass app, and it changes from, group 2, seat 11D, to group 1, seat 1A, first class. So you guys need to do that.
Awesome.
That sounds fun, man. I'm going to do that on my next trip to Norway. But he won't
That's
do what his
so
mom wants
awesome.
to do. All right, so he has become a part of your family. What do they think about him? Just real briefly. And also, I mean, what do you think about him? What do you think about his personality? I mean, what give me the lowdown on Erik from your perspective and your family's.
So at first, Erik was just to me. I kept him to myself for a little bit. And that was part of, I did that on purpose because I didn't want anyone else to taint it. I was afraid that if anybody else didn't believe it, that it would spoil things. So I kept it to myself for the first couple months. But slowly it became more and more difficult to hold it back because the experiences and the things that were happening were so just amazing. And so I started to tell my husband more and more. And he just slowly opened up to Erik and understanding who Erik is. And what's really funny is my daughter, my 16-year-old daughter, she saw her grandmother right after she passed. And right around that time, she started to see Erik. So a lot of my growth with my own abilities has been with my children because they've heard Erik and seen him before I did. So it really helped me bridge what was happening with me and then what I was seeing. And then my daughter would say to me what she was seeing, and it would be exactly the same. So it was this way of going, oh, my God, okay. And it was making it more and more real for me. And then it just, you know, it would keep changing. My son, who has autism, he has, what's that?
Is that the one, that 7-year-old?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. He has autism, and we know he sees Erik. He can point out his pictures. He knew that when I was flying this weekend, I said, I'm going to Erik's mommy's house. And he sometimes says that Erik's a cat. And my daughter will say that Erik, she sees him. He's shown himself as a little black cat with a red T-shirt on and a hat, and he shows himself that way to my son all the time. Mm-hmm.
Because it's so
my
sweet.
Son loves cats.
Yeah, okay, that's sweet. And Ringo, our cat that recently passed, was a black cat. Oh, yeah, wow. That's
Yeah. So, and now, so this has been, 4 years, and Erik is a regular member of our family. My parents know who Erik is. My brother knows who Erik is. Erik gives advice as we go through our days when we do, like, this is not just something I do at certain times of the day. This is my life. This is part of how things are. And he's made a monumental difference. And you have made a monumental difference in many people's lives that I can see with my eyes, and it's amazing. It's amazing.
Oh, gosh, that's wow. But it's really cool. So you have the 16-year-old. You have the somebody told me to be quiet because the documentary filmmaker is about to interview my eldest daughter. Okay, so I have to not yell like I usually do. So you have the 16-year-old. You have a 7-year-old. That's. Do you have any other kids?
Yes, and I have a 14-year-old daughter, and then I have a 27-year-old stepdaughter and a 5-year-old granddaughter.
Wow. Dang.
Yeah.
So that's his family, and hopefully he's helping you develop your already awesome skills, but also taking care of your family, but also that you are giving back by being his voice. I mean, I'm so grateful for that because not everybody does that. I mean,
it's a beautiful. It's so amazing because it's I feel so heart connected to Erik, and I know so many of us do, but the job part of it is not a job. It's
play.
This is my life. It's play. It's fun, and I'm so grateful for it.
So describe his personality as you see it. Or anything about him.
Sarcastic.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He can be a little sarcastic, but there's always teaching behind it. Always.
Yeah.
There's always some reason why he says what he does.
Yeah.
Very loving. He's very loving. He's always there. He's a best friend. He really is a best friend. He has been there for me every time I've needed him. Just recently, my husband was just diagnosed with kidney cancer.
Yeah.
And Erik was right there the whole way, giving me reassurance, showing me things, helping me understand, and really helping both of us walk through it to the point that we know that he's going to be okay, and we know that this is something that he needs to deal with as part of his process.
Yes.
And our souls have had an opportunity to see this illness from two different angles, and my husband's an empath as well. So it's we have a lot of similarities in our feelings. Yeah. So Erik is he's a best friend. He really is.
That's awesome. And a little brother probably too, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Has he pranked any of you guys, your kids or anybody? Besides what you already said? Yeah.
I had a lid manifested in my laundry room one day, and it was whipped at me. Like
what?
It was like a perfume bottle lid that I had never seen before in my life. And I was in the house completely alone, and it literally appeared in the air right in front of me and hit me right on the side of my arm.
Gosh.
And I'm like, where did that come from? That was a crazy experience. He has, the fart smells.
God. I'm sorry.
There's been lots of those. Yeah. Been lots of those. He does all kinds of different little tricks with lights, with numbers. He's done it to here's one. Before I left for Houston, my mother and I went grocery shopping, and she threw the keys in her van, and we watched it hit her purse and go in. We turned around and grabbed some bags to put in the van. We look in her purse, the keys aren't there.
Wow.
The keys are not there. We looked everywhere, and I'm like, Mom, I saw it go in the purse. She goes, I did too. And we kept looking, and then all of a sudden, we had to go get another spare set of keys. We're driving. She opens up her purse, and we checked that purse, and they were sitting right there.
I know. And same thing happened to me in my purse.
Yeah. Really?
Yep. Yeah. It can be a little pain in the ass sometimes.
Yeah, he can be.
Anything else you want to say besides, of course, I want to remind people, get your pen and paper, okay? I want you to write Michelle's information down. So while y'all are getting that, I'm going to say that I'm going to ask Michelle, Erik, are you guys ready to take calls from listeners?
Absolutely, we are. Erik's hands are rubbing together, and he says, hi, Mama, I love you.
Baby,
I'm ready to go.
I love you.
He's giving you big hugs, blowing kisses.
To the power of infinity. All right, so Michelle Gray's information is thehealing-art.com. So be sure to check her out, because I'm telling you, the people at the group reading was like, oh my God, you got to be freaking kidding me. That's so specific. So do that, and so we'll go ahead and start taking callers.
All right.
Let me see who we have. We have somebody from the 315 area code. Hi there, how are you? And welcome to the show. Hi. Who are we speaking to, and where are you calling from?
I love you, candy bar. Okay. I'm recent children, and I'm from New York.
New York. Oh, Reason, how you doing? So, what question would you like to ask Erik?
That's a hard question.
Well, what you can do is you ask him, what do you have to tell me that I really need to hear? You want to do that? Or you can ask what your spiritual mission is, what your purpose here is, whatever you want. But, do You're the man. Go for it. What do you want?
Can he answer past life?
Oh yeah, sure.
Ooh, cool. Something for past life. Okay, let's see here.
Like I said in my text, I believe I was Betty Paris in my past life.
Yes.
Sorry, what was that last bit? I just missed that.
I was Betty Paris in my past life.
Betty, can you? It's really. There's a lot of background noise.
Hard to hear. Yeah.
Are there people talking in the background?
Yes.
Okay. Can you maybe tell them to be really quiet?
Okay.
If you don't mind.
Okay.
Which is pretty much impossible in my house. Okay. There we go. So say it again, Reason.
I was Betty Paris in my past life.
I still hear people. What is going on? You got a really lively place there. But okay, you were Betty. Spell the last name.
Paris.
Oh,
Betty
Paris. Okay.
So you
Which
want to know if you were Betty Paris?
Yes.
Paris, which part of the Salem witch trials, right?
Mhm.
Now, tell me about that character. I can't remember. Can you remind the audience who she was?
She was one of the people that accused witches.
Oh, I see. See, this is really interesting.
She accused my cousin accused Sarah Good.
See, this is really interesting because most people who talk about past lives, they're like, oh, yes, I was General Washington or whatever. And certainly men don't ever say, yeah, I was a girl. Like my little boy, Lucas, when he was 2 and had, a fever, he talked about how he was a little girl in Jamaica. It's like, guys don't do that. Okay, so Erik, tell me about this. Tell me about this.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Erik says, hey man, how's it going? He's like giving you a high five. And he's saying, yeah, you know, he's saying that you, yes, absolutely, emphatically, yes. He also says that you, I don't know if you have been reading, or he says that you feel it physically when you read some of the literature or whatever it is that you're looking at in the story. He says that you're getting a physical sensation, or you just sense it in your body. He's also saying that there are things that are happening in your life, or relationships that are playing out some of the energies from that lifetime in this current life. And he's saying that there are some relationships that are a bit challenging. And when you said accuser, so there's somebody that has accused you, or somebody who's in a relationship.
I accused someone.
Oh, you accused
but
somebody.
in today's life?
Yeah, but in this life.
No, Betty
No.
accused people.
Right.
What?
I know, but he's just saying, right, in that lifetime. But I'm saying in this lifetime, there's that similar energy from that life as Betty that's playing out in this lifetime for you. That's what he's saying.
So somebody maybe it's not now, maybe it will come to pass, but somebody in your life is turning the tables on you and accusing you of something. So
it doesn't have to be something major. It doesn't, like Erik's just showing like his hands, like it's the energy that plays itself out, that in this lifetime, he says it's like tying up loose ends, that there's some sort of karmic energy that goes along with it. So you may find, he also says it can be broken down into several people, and it's a feeling. It's a feeling that you may have in a relationship or in situations that are occurring. But he says, yes, you are. You're right.
So what can he take away from this, from, having been Betty Parrish and being the accuser, and now in maybe a small way, and maybe in the future, being accused himself by somebody? So what can he take? What's the lesson to be learned?
He says it's about. He says it's about awareness. having the awareness, and he's also saying about being able to see another side to a situation. So he's talking about taking the opportunity to see things because he says there's something about perception here.
So being open-minded and looking at all sides.
Yes.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Interesting. Well, thank you for calling in, and I hope you call in next week too, because I want to. I really want you to share what you feel after you've digested this. I think it's really important for all of us to know. Okay, is that okay?
Okay.
All right, babe. All right, thank you for calling in, babe.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Interesting, because I think he saw the Kim Voight, Sarah Good
that was
thing.
awesome.
That
was really
okay.
cool.
All right, we're talking to somebody from the 203 area code. Hi there, how you doing?
Hi. I called and spoke to you probably, I don't know how many years ago. I've lost count, so I'm thrilled to be back.
Well, thank you. What's your first name and where are you calling from?
Pat from Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
Hi.
Hi.
Does Erik talk about other people, or does he protect their privacy? In other words, my son, my relationship with my son.
Well, he can. He says that we're talking about your relationship. So there's nothing. He's just saying that. Okay. He says, "Hi, Pat." And he's also saying that nothing would be divulged in this format that would be inappropriate.
Okay.
He won't let anything out that is inappropriate. Yeah.
Of course not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you, I'm just getting the sense that there's some difficulty or there's something that's going on with the son. Did you want to ask something specific to Erik to look into?
Yeah, just the future. I loved every minute raising him. We were very, very, very close, I thought. I think I was thinking I was buffering his anger, and I think he's been angry for many, many more years than I realized. And last year at Thanksgiving, I said no more. And he's got a child now, and he's married. And once I did that, it felt like I actually left an abusive marriage. So I've done a lot of soul searching and praying and searching and searching and searching, and we're healing. It took him about 2 months to come around. And, my feeling is I shouldn't really say anything about his anger. I'm concerned about him and his anger, his marriage, blah, blah, blah. But I just, I'm pretending all the time. And I think he needs that right now. I'm pretending to be positive and not kind of horrified at how his wife controls him, things that are his anger that he needs to look at someday. He had a horrible accident, and I don't think he ever faced that. So it's just a mother's worry, and he's 40 with the child, and I almost lost him. And then he actually, after I almost lost him, I think he died twice after the surgery. Anyway.
So, Erik, what did you tell her to make her feel better?
Well, the first thing that Erik brought up, Pat, was he brought up guilt in there, and that there's somehow you feel some sense of responsibility.
It's a mother thing.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. And so he just wants to say to you that what is happening is not your fault. It's not your responsibility. But he's also just saying that it's okay to take a step back. It's not something that you need to address directly. He said that directly addressing this is going to trigger his anger, because he's got a sense of defensiveness with him right now. And is he not functioning the same as he did before? Because there's like a buildup in him of not being the same. I don't know if it's not thinking the same. Erik's just saying it's a difference from before his accident. Does
well,
that make sense, Pal?
he's got some physical stuff, and yeah, he said he went from a 16-year-old to a 45-year-old overnight. So his life changed drastically.
Yes. Yes.
Well, do you think?
Okay, because he's.
I'm going to ask Erik. I'm sorry. I want to ask Erik.
Yeah.
Is that because of the accident, the physical component of the accident, or is it because of the PTS involving the accident, or both?
It's both, and he also says there's a little something from before. Was there a relationship, something with the father? Was there anything there? Does he have a relationship with his dad?
I stayed around after I divorced so he could have a father, but he was a bully. And I think he got a lot of damage from that. And I protected as much as I could, but then I couldn't, until I promised myself I would move him away by age 12 so he could see life was different. We moved it when he was 14, and then he got in a bad accident. He was doing drugs and broke his back and so on and so on. So,
gosh.
But he's doing, so I worry.
What? Yeah. That's his job, to worry all the time.
So, Pat, Erik's just saying, so when he was trying to identify the guilt, he's just saying that you may not have this in your front conscious mind, but there's a subconscious, there's a vibration of energy within you that is saying, I feel responsible for not protecting him, or for you feel that there could have been decisions made that would have made things better for him. Because there is some sort of energy there that does come from the father, does come from that, that is taught to him. It is not him, it is taught to him. And with the accident compounded on that, that brings out everything as he blames himself. He's frustrated, and there's a lot of blame being projected. So Erik said the very first thing that you can do is give yourself some compassion and take care of how you feel and understand what is your responsibility and what is not.
Yeah, because you don't want to interfere with their spiritual contract. This may be something he signed up to before this incarnation to deal with shit, and you don't want to rob him of those lessons. So I'm going to ask a very direct question.
Okay.
What? And Erik, of course, you can say anything you want. What can she do, or he, from a practical basis? What needs to be immediately done?
What does Pat need to do for herself?
Pat or her son.
Okay.
Or both.
Okay. All right. He's telling me both. Okay. So Pat. So the first thing he says is, make sure that you are looking at when he is going through something or he is upset. He said, take the responsibility off yourself, and he says, practice being able to take a step back. Yeah. Because if you, just like he says, just like Mom said, if you interject and go forward, it's going to blow things up. And to work on how you feel, and to work on, he says, really think about why you feel the way you do, because it's more than, he goes, yes, there is natural care and worry that every mother has, and that's definitely there. But also look at, he says, there's some things that you've kept and held in that you feel responsible for. And he says that needs to be released and understood, that you need to focus on you, because he needs to focus on himself, and he's not going to do it by anybody else telling him.
Yes, I know.
There's of this that he's going to have to work through himself. He is saying, though, to help you out a bit, he says, and he's looking directly at you and holding your cheeks and saying, Mom, I know how much this worries you. And he's just pointing to his mom and saying, mamas never stop worrying about their kids.
No.
And that's understandable, but he says he will get better. This will improve, but he does have a process to go through. And he says, and so do you. And by you addressing yourself and taking care of yourself, what you can do is continue to send him love. Send him energy. When worry comes
in your mind,
make
in your mind.
Love instead. In your mind.
So is
in your mind.
Is there past life?
Light around him.
Yes.
I do that. If I could give a little.
I'm sorry. Is there past life thing? I feel like there's a past life connection between you guys that needs to be addressed.
You have been husband and wife. Like you have had a relationship. There's been different types of relationships, and they have ended in either not been okay. He's showing me two lives, like one that ended with you passing before things were settled, and then he's showing me another life that had was a brain injury, and this was him. He had a brain injury.
So, that's why he had the accident. This life, maybe.
It was. Yes,
oh,
it was.
Wow.
So this is another perspective to play out this type of energy karma within the two of you.
Was he castrated in one life?
Huh?
Was he
castrated in one life?
Oh,
yes.
Good question.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I know about some of his past lives. I have one more question that was like unconscious until I started speaking with you. And then if you have time, I'd like to add some information that you might find interesting.
I need to be able to have some time for one more caller before. But I think it would be really good for you to connect with Michelle and talk more. But also, I'll ask Erik this. Do you think that they would both benefit by past life regression? I mean, it looks like, Pat, you already know a lot about the past life stuff, but maybe he doesn't. So what do you think, Erik?
He's not open.
No.
He won't be open to anything.
That's what Erik just said, that not right now. There may be a time down the road, but right now he's not. Yeah, he said that this is why, Pat, it's so important for you to really concentrate on what you have control over, which is you and your energy, and healing how you feel inside. Because by you doing that, you're automatically sending that vibration outwards to him.
Right.
What's good for you is good for him. Yeah.
So
I just need to know he developed disrespect for me, and for whatever reason he needed to do that. I need to know, is that clearing up or is that still there?
You have to respect yourself wholly for you to be able to receive that respect.
Yeah, for real, Pat, you need to contact Michelle and have a session with her.
Okay.
I think that this is so much that can be done, with her that would help both of you guys. I feel that. I'm channeling that. Erik, am I right?
Thank you.
Am I right, Erik said a session. Yeah, Erik said a session would be very helpful for her. Yes.
Okay, Erik. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thanks, Pat. Erik says bye.
Bye. Okay, we got somebody from the 401 area code. Hi there.
Hello.
Anybody home? Hi.
Hi.
Hi, welcome to the show. What you got for our boy? And first of all, what is your first name and where are you calling from?
I am calling from Rhode Island. My name is Carrie.
Oh, hi, Carrie.
Carrie. Hi, Carrie.
Hi, I'm just a first-time listener. I was drawn over to the show tonight. I don't believe there's coincidences in life, so I listened to Blog Talk.
You're so right. I finally learned that, but it took me a long time.
First time catching this show, and it's been great so far. I mean, I've gone through some transitions recently, and I definitely feel, I know the time of year, being that it's almost Halloween, the veil's lifted a little bit, or it's the thinnest, actually.
Really?
So,
I've heard that. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Most of anything you might have. I've gone through, actually you just mentioned something regarding a brain injury, and actually I had one when I was younger. So again, no coincidences.
Gosh. Wow.
But sometimes, lately it's just been a little rough. So there's been some challenges, and I know that, the whole objective is to learn and sort of power through them. But going on in a relationship, and it's relative to loved ones who've crossed, because there's some property ownership involved.
Oh. So what's your question for the boy, from my boy?
So my question is, any messages that, Spirit may want me to have in order to, overcome the challenges or, transitions over the next couple of weeks, because it seems as though every chance I have to make a choice, I almost get deviated off the path. So I'm open to, it's one of those.
Oh, Erik, help her out, man. Dude, help her out. Tell her something.
Okay, Erik's just saying you have ability. It's the first thing that he kept circling was he kept showing light around you, light around you, light around you, which is do you know this about yourself? Do you feel psychic ability? Do you?
And sometimes it affects me because I'm dealing with a breakup and just the stuff that's going on, and I know that there's some deception and it's not personal, it's also potential, and it's just sort of upsetting, and I have to stand my ground, so that makes sense.
Yeah, because he's saying, he's like, first of all, he's like, Carrie girl, hi. First of all, he's like right up in front of you going, hi. And then he says, listen, the things that have happened to you in your life and what you're experiencing right now are not happening by accident. Just like you said, there's no coincidences. There's a lot of setting up that is happening in your life right now to push you into this next part. He is telling you to listen to your gut. It is very fine-tuned. You just might not be fully aware of how fine-tuned it is. Because he says it's almost not pleasant to learn and understand things that other people are doing. And you don't want to believe that. And he says, and that's hard, he gets it, but he says you need to pay attention to it and make your choices based on what you feel there, because it's true.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to have to close up. One more minute for me, because I want to run to the other show because they'll send hitmen after me. I don't know. God, awful thing will happen. So one more message for our girl here, and maybe you can call back in next week, babe, because I really want. I think we're shortchanging you. So Erik, tell her one more thing before we can close, please.
There's a female that's around you, a grandmother, the grandmother energy. So if you've been connecting or hearing, but Erik's just saying you've got family with you, some loved ones, and he's highlighting his grandmother and just saying you're not by yourself, Carrie. So know that you can call upon, he says, me. You've met me, you know who I am now. You can call upon me, and you can call upon your loved ones that are around you, because they're there helping you through these next steps, this next phase. And he says, you just wait to see what's ahead of you, girl. You just wait.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I think Erik has a crush on you. I'm getting that. Oh, my God.
Yeah. It's funny because he's going to Winky.
Wait,
I'm sorry, I noticed his name is spelled Erik, and I'm Keri, so that's funny.
Yeah.
Oh my God! No, I'm feeling a little crush action going on with that boy. All right, well, thank you, everybody. I really appreciate you,
so much.
Calling in, and Carrie and Michelle. Oh my God, you're so awesome. I love you so much. And you guys need to connect with her before she's booked up for 10 years. To thehealingh-art.com. So, love you guys, and I will talk to y'all next Tuesday.
Erik, I love you, Pete. Good night, everybody.
I love you, Erik. I love you so much.
I love you too, Mama.
Bye.
He says I'm in your lap hugging you.
Oh, good.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.